Hi there, Michelle here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and show you a video that was a request from all of you. I put a post up on my YouTube page asking you what you would like to see in the next video from me. And what won out was you would like to see how I create large pots of Hoyas. So that was 50% of you. So what you see is what you get. So I will go ahead and show you them, and then we will talk about how to go ahead and create these full pots of Hoyas. This is a long process, but once you get to a certain point, it kind of takes off and goes on its own. And I'll show you that. If you like today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That lets me know if you like the content that I'm presenting on today's video. If you'd like to see other content similar to this, especially Hoya related content, please consider subscribing to my channel. That helps get the word out to the YouTube plant universe that my channel exists and that I'm out here. And if you would like to add something to the conversation, please put a comment in the comment section below. I will get back to you. I respond to all my comments. It just may take me a day or two to get back to you. So just be patient. I will get back to you. And now let's go ahead and talk about the Hoyas and what we're going to do today. We are going to make Hoyas like this. This is my Caudata big green leaf. And this has a dead leaf in here. But as you can see, this Hoya has many vines. There isn't just one vine in this pot. There are multiples down at the base. The pot is extremely full. It has multiple growth points, even multiple beyond multiple growth points. It has many vines sticking out. It needs to go on a larger trellis. I trellised this expecting it to stay in the cabinet, and it's no longer in the cabinet. So I need to actually go ahead and trellis this on a full-size trellis. This is an example of what we are going to do today. This will be the ultimate result. What I sometimes do is I sometimes create two pots of plant. And I will show you how I do this. I will show you examples. I'm not going to do that today because I don't have a plant large enough that I want to break down into small pieces. What I'm talking about is when a Hoya gets root rot and you have to take emergency cuttings. I take cuttings of all the plant. I leave what plant material I can on the plant that's still in the pot. There may still be enough viable root that plant will still grow. I take cuttings and I put them in a separate pot. And then what hopefully happens is the original plant will grow, and then the pot of cuttings will grow, and then you have two plants. So let me show you what an example of this is. This is, whoa, it's so heavy it can't even hold itself up no more. This is, it doesn't even stand up no more. This is my Hoya Rebecca, the original plant. As you can see by the base right here, it's in pure cocoa husk. what I did, let me see if you can see it, pure cocoa husk. What I did was I rotted the roots on this, and I needed to take emergency cuttings of this so that way I could save the plant. But it still had a lot of peduncles on it. As you can see, the peduncles right here, the peduncles on this side that are starting to bud up, the peduncles down here. So I cut off all the parts of the Hoya I could, and I left the original plant. This is basically a couple of strands of an original plant that just kind of grew like a nightmare. Well, not a nightmare. It grew like gangbusters is what it grew like. So this is the original plant, but the cuttings I took from that original plant might actually supersede the original. Let me get it. Have to be careful with it. These are the cuttings from that plant. This is my propagations from that plant. These are what were recovered from the plant and have grown. These are the two halves to my one Rebecca. So the first thing is take a look at the plant. This is a Tequila Sunrise. It's doing okay. I mean, it's not doing real great. So what I want to do is I want to get this Tequila Sunrise off of this trellis, and I want to put it, I want to make it a fuller pot, and I want to just kind of revitalize this. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I will do is unwind all of this and get this. We got a yellow leaf here. Take this trellis off. We'll use that again later. And this just slips right off. Let's look at what we got to work with. Ooh, the stem is just breaking right off. So that is, oh, and that stem is dying. Okay, so we got to cut that off. Okay, that's a peduncle. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at what we have. We have some leaves that have yellow on them. That's interesting. You know, we have to take an evaluation of what our plant looks like and what kind of cuttings we want to take. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out of the soil. I'm going to take a look at the roots and I'm going to get it out of the soil. It's in tree fern fiber, which is good. Feels like it has rooted into the wick. So I'm just skimming through the roots real fast, looking at them. Roots look good. Here's the wick. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting off all of this. Oh, and here's a cutting. I'll have to take a look at this. Okay. So I'm taking off the roots. I'm taking off all the tree fern fiber from the roots. I'm going to clean it off. But what I want to do is I want to spray these roots down with rubbing alcohol, because I did have some cases of some root mealies. So while I'm working with Hoyas, I'm going to treat them. So I have a little bit of rubbing alcohol right here. Okay. So now we have this basic part of the Tequila Sunrise. We have, this is a very interesting looking piece. It's got one root on it. It's got one stem. It's got this bumping up to a peduncle. So that's kind of interesting. So we have 2 cuttings right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say how many cuttings I want to take. How big of a pot do I want this Hoya to be? Do I want to keep any damaged pieces? No. So I'm just going to start cutting. And I'm going to cut out the yellow parts. And we're going to put those over here. I'm going to also cut out any like curved pieces of stem that are going to make it difficult for me to put into the substrate. Now, let's see. There is a peduncle on just a stem. Maybe I will cut it right here. Cut that. And I'll put that like that, so that way the peduncle stays. This Tequila Sunrise has a very interesting growth pattern. The stems, the internodal spaces between these stems is very long, which is kind of unfortunate for when you look at it. And I'm just keeping on cutting. And I don't have to cut every single one. Ooh, that's a pretty one. That's a real pretty leaf right there. So I'll keep these 3 together. Maybe we'll see what it looks like. So now we're left with this gigantic part. And we're going to cut this part off because we don't want those yellow leaves. And we'll keep these 2 going. Okay, we're getting close. This I will probably keep. I'll probably keep this one just like this. And there, okay. And there. Okay, So now we have our junk pile. We have our cuttings pile, which may need to be cut. This is looking too long. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these cuttings in a 5-inch net pot. And the net pot we're going to fill with my mix, my organic mix. I did make another adjustment. So, right now we're on version 3.5. Now the mix has some cocoa fiber in it, but see if I can get it so you can see it. Oops. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and first things first is we're going to put in this, and then we're going to put the trellis in, and we're going to situate the Tequila Sunrise, the main plant, in the pot. And we're going to temporarily pin it in place. These are just temporary clips. We'll move them in a little bit. We just want to get these in place for now. Okay, there we go. There. And, this isn't really a secret on how to make these pots larger. It's more a measure of time and patience. That's really what you need to make a full pot of Hoya, time and patience. Okay, so now I have pretty much so now I pretty much have a fully prepared pot, but now we have to add all of these. And this is where, it takes a little bit of patience and practice. We're going to put these into the pot, focusing on the edges where the trellis is. And if you need to have a tool to get down in there, because you don't want to break the stems, forcing it down into the pot. So what you want to do is you want to take your scissor or your shears, if you have like fine tip shears, and you want to poke down in the hole into the substrate, lift it up a little, and then put your stem right in the hole that the shears made. So there we go. So we have one already in. And then we're going to do, if you have single stems, you don't really, those can go in the front because those will take longer to grow vines. You want to save the sides for anything that's tall like this. This will need to be positioned over by the bamboo trellis. So I'm going to position these as I can into this pot, and I'm going to place them a little bit apart. I'm going to strategically place them so that they are spaced apart into the pot. This one needs to be put up, so we'll wrap that one up. This one is tall, so we will put this over here. There we go. And that one has we'll put that one right there. And we will wrap. You'll notice that we do a lot of wrapping. So now let's go ahead and get some shorter ones so we can populate the front. There we go. And if we need any strawberry forks, might need one right here. Here we go. We got one with this, another one with a stem. Let's see. We can put this right here. Okay, and that one I'm just going to leave right there for now. Because it's, oh, no, we can wedge it in there. See, I'm just undoing the tape, gathering that in, and reattaching the tape. How's that looking so far? Okay, looks like we need some plants right here. So let's go ahead and focus on that. Okay, and one right here. Okay, this one is a little long, so I'm just going to trim it a little. Okay, there we go. And another strawberry fork. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, we're leaning. Okay. All right, we have this one. Now, I have done this procedure, technique, form of torture, whatever you want to call it, to probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 of my Hoya, about 10, maybe 15. I've had pretty good success. I've had one or two failures, one or two really good failures. It really depends upon the health of the plant as to how well it takes off. The other thing is, this can take 6 months. So this can take, let me repeat that again. This can take 6 months to grow in and start producing vines, producing new growth. So please don't think that in 2 weeks, this plant is going to magically start producing new growth, because it's not. This is going to be a surprise to the Hoya. And, you know, it's going to be a change. So it just is going to take it a little bit of getting used to, but it will recover and it will go ahead and take roots, put roots down in this and grow into a beautiful full-sized plant. Sorry, these last couple I just need to get on my eyesight level because they are like fitting in jigsaw puzzle pieces. They can be like that sometimes. Okay. And here we go. This beauty is a new Tequila Sunrise. This is what it's going to look like. It is now a nice full plant. It will eventually climb up and climb all over. It will take a few months to get fitted in and to start growing, but it will be very beautiful once it does. And it's got a full pot, as you can see down below. It's got a full pot of Hoya cuttings that will grow. So I just got to water this one in, and then it'll be all ready to go. All right, so Tequila Sunrise down, one to go. Okay, the second Hoya we're going to work with today is going to demonstrate a different kind of creation with our Hoyas. This is a Hoya that is already well established. We're just going to fill out the pot more. We're going to take cuttings directly from the plant. We're not going to remove the plant. Let me rephrase that. We're going to disturb the plant as little as humanly possible. We're going to try to match the substrate. We're basically going to cut, pot everything, and that's it. So it looks like my battery is running dead, so let me replace the battery and then we'll be right back. We're going to repot this also, but we're going to try and mess as little as humanly possible with this because it does already have a superly well-developed root system, and Polyneuras develop such fine root systems that I'm going to try to disturb the root system as little as possible. Now that you saw the Tequila Sunrise be chopped up, let me go ahead and show you what a developing Hoya that is in this process looks like. And that would be my Crassipedialata Splash. This is my original Crassipedialata Splash. The roots look good. So it had root mealies, and so I had to treat it, and then it got root rot. Now I remember. I had a lot of Hoyas do that. The treatment I used for the root mealies gave my plants root rot. So I had kind of a few Hoyas that I had to restart. So this is the part of the Hoya that remained that I felt like I could still work with. These leaves were all desiccated. They were dried up. They were floppy. I thought there was no way that any of these leaves were going to survive. And thankfully, they did survive. You know, there's a lot of burned ones on top. And, you know, I should probably, you know, chop those off. You know, because those are pretty ugly looking. So there we go. All right, so the burned ones are come off. You know, burned ones like, you know, like these. You know, those are pretty burnt. Or like that. That's pretty burnt. So this is what's left of the plant. Is this. But what do the cuttings look like? This is the cuttings of the Crassy Petiolata Splash. This is a 6-inch pot. And these are just full of cuttings, rooted cuttings from the Crassy Petiolata Splash. So it's created, and it's got all these runners that are starting to trail up the trellis. I am training these little vines, get up there. So they are trailing up there. So this is turned into a more desirable plant than the original plant was, which is interesting if you think about it. You know, that the spare parts of the plant are better than the original plant. But that is where we are. This is what you get. This is about 6 months in. The cuttings are all rooted now. They're all starting to grow. This was in a big, big pot. You know, they do take a while, you know, rooting in substrate. It can be a long process, but it does work, and that's the results. So that is what that Tequila Sunrise will look like once you give it some time. I didn't take any cuttings and separate it from the pot, but that gives you an idea of what the cuttings will grow to be. They will create a beautiful pot on their own. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some cuttings. Okay. So now I have these 3 Hoyas, and I don't want to take this one because those are still very fresh. So I have 3 cuttings and 1 pot. So let's go ahead and put these in a 5-inch pot. 5-inch self-watering pot. Okay. Okay. Let's take out this is very damp. I'm just looking to make sure there aren't any root mealies. And I may see a couple. May see a couple. I don't know if those are root mealies or just perlite. And I just took out the wick. Duh. This is taller than the pot. This is not very... I'm just loosening this up a little so it'll fit in the pot. Oh, that just made a huge mess. Okay. See if we can't make a huge mess. Okay, so we got these. So now let's go ahead and put our cuttings in. So we got one that is kind of backwards, unfortunately.
Should have stayed, were the signs I ignored. Can I help you not to hurt anymore?
So that was simple. That was a very simple one to do. But this just shows you, you know, oh, that got bent. Oh, dang it. That got bent. That's got to go. This got bent. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this looks kind of weird right now, but I promise you, as soon as these start growing in, these will all start hanging down, and the whole plant will be a beautiful pendant. It just has to take a little time to grow and hang down. I would give you an example of the Polyneura I have right over here, but it's out of sight right now. So out of sight, out of mind. So here is the Polyneura. This is an example of what I do to get a full pot of Hoyas. This one is nothing surprising. I'm sure you all probably knew how to do that. But the secret is what these Hoyas look like over here, especially that Crassy Petiolata Splash. So for today, I showed you how I took these two Hoyas and made fuller pots from them. It may not have been too much of a complicated procedure for you to do after seeing my explanation. Hopefully you can take what you have seen today and do some chopping on your Hoyas and fill out some pots of your own and see where the scissors take you, so to speak. I really appreciate you staying till the end with me and seeing everything that I brought today, which now is a big mess, honestly, because I made a big mess. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. I know you could spend your time doing so many more things. If you have a comment, please put it in the comment section below. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.